Your natural hair is not hard to deal with. It's your expectations that are hard to deal with. I used to have so many hair products in my stash, like 27 plus. And you know what? My hair was still dry, still breaking, and I was still very frustrated. But then I realized something that changed everything. I was so busy listening to this natural hair guru, this natural hair influencer, these brands, and so on, that I couldn't hear what my hair was trying to tell me. If you're watching this, you probably spent countless hours watching natural hair tutorials, videos, product reviews. Bought as many products as you could that promised you that curl definition, manageability, moisture, minimal breakage, and obviously hair growth. And at the end of the day, you still feel like you're fighting a losing battle. I get it. For many of us, nobody taught us how to take care of our hair. Our mothers and grandmothers were too busy surviving in a world that told them they were not enough, that they were not professional enough, they were not beautiful enough. But God's timing is perfect, and I believe He is raising up a generation of women who aren't afraid to glorify Him with the hair that He gave us. Here's where I feel not enough attention is drawn to when it comes to this phrasing of natural hair is hard to deal with. And the answer isn't in another product, another tutorial, another hair regimen. It's in something so simple, not easy, but simple, that we've been overlooking. But before we dive into that, we need to talk about something very crucial, and that is how we view our failed hair days, or a failed style, or a failed experiment. So those edges that won't lay flat, or the twist out that didn't come out defined, the shrinkage if you're 4C, or the frizz if you're 3 and up that you're fighting. These aren't failures. They are what I believe are data points. Not to get all nerdy on you guys. These moments are showering you with information and insight about the way your hair behaves. And oftentimes I feel that we immediately become frustrated with our hair because we are not documenting or taking time to note our hair's response to a certain product or a certain style. We're very impatient, and a lot of us would rather have the information spoon-fed to us. But the problem is you can't get spoon-fed information about your hair from anybody else but you. Every time something doesn't exactly work out the way you want it to, you're not failing, you're simply collecting precious information. And this information is going to tell you about what your hair needs. But you have to change the way that you are viewing your hair in these moments of frustration. I know it's easy to go to YouTube and watch everybody else handle their hair, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so easy for them. You know, the reason it's easy for them, and it's easy for me, and it's easy for us who are online showcasing our hair regimens and our routines, is because we're taking the time to actually document and show you, this is what I've been trying for 15 years. This is what I've been trying for the last 3 months. This is a hair challenge I want to do. I'm going to be doing a product series on gels for my wash and go. These women online are documenting and testing, tweaking, rinsing, and repeating what they're doing to get to know their hair better. So you watch a finished product and think, gosh, it must be so easy for them. But it's not, because guess what? We've all been there, all of us. Like, how is it so easy for people? The reason it is because these people spend a lot of time with their hair collecting that information. And so now for me, I know what my hair loves, doesn't like. So when I show you a video of me handling my hair and talking about it, it may seem like, oh my gosh, it's so easy for you. You just have to take the time to learn your hair. So once you start seeing every failed style or every failed product review as collecting information or data about your hair, something incredible happens. It's like you feel the pressure lift up off of you. You're no longer failing at doing your hair, but you're succeeding at understanding your hair. In the midst of that frustration, in the midst of looking in the mirror and saying, gosh, 4C hair is so hard to manage, it's so hard to deal with. It is because you're trying to make it do something it doesn't want to do. Your hair is trying to talk to you. I'm going to share with you some ways that I've learned how to listen to my hair. Step 1 is the product pause. This might sound scary and a little bit sus, but trust me on this. Pick just 3 products, that's it. And for the next 30 days, these are your hair products. Now, before you click off, hear me out. When you strip away all of the noise, all of the sponsored videos, all the product reviews, all the routines out there, something miraculous happens. You start to see your hair for what it truly is. There's no comparing, there's no taking notes against what another person's regimen or hair type is or porosity is. You start to clearly see your hair for what it is. So this is as simple as a cleanser, shampoo, a conditioner, whether it's a deep conditioner or a 5-minute conditioner, and a styling product. Well, I would add as a bonus a sealant, but a styling product. So something where you can do twists or braids or cornrows or whatever styles, but use a styling product. And then you can use a grease or oil to seal your hair. This isn't about restriction, but it's about freedom and opening and expanding your mind about your hair. It's kind of freedom from analysis paralysis, which is very frustrating. Freedom from the product junkie syndrome, and also freedom from comparison. Step 2 is where things get interesting. The touch test. I like the way that sounds, the touch test. This is where I think a lot of us falter off because we're not used to documenting. Whether your documentation is a video like the way that I've done it for these last 15 years, whether it's a written journal, I also have an online blog. It's private, but I'm the only one that can see my entries. Whether it's photos or you create a special Instagram or a special private social media account, in your documentation, you don't want to write down what worked. You want to write down what didn't work as well. Those failures in my natural hair journey has been one of my biggest teaching moments about what my hair is and what it doesn't like and what it prefers for me to do with it. If that twist out failed, great. Now you know that you put too much product in your twist, or maybe you didn't let your twist dry long enough, or perhaps you need something with a stronger hold. Maybe it was too humid that day, or maybe it rained. Did that wash and go frizz up on you, or it didn't have any definition? Fantastic. That's your hair telling you about a technique or a product that didn't work. For example, when I first did a wash and go, it was an absolute fail. But what I learned is I need to apply a stronghold gel to very wet hair and use the Anthony Dickey method to bring out my coils. And in another way, I learned what I can't do with a wash and go. And I filmed an entire video about that. So if you have 4C fine, low density natural hair, I recommend this video where I go into detail about what are some do's and don'ts and some guidelines for you to have a successful wash and go. So are you getting it at this point? Every failure is an opportunity to learn more about your hair. This is a good philosophy to even apply in life, especially if you struggle with perfectionism like I did. Every failure is a learning opportunity. It's a growing opportunity. So just begin to reevaluate how you look at the failures in your natural hair journey. And that's where the miracle happens. You'll start to notice things about your hair that no YouTube video could ever tell you. Because guess what? Your hair is uniquely yours. This will also help you manage the expectations that you set for your natural hair. I've seen so many girls able to do wash and goes with just cream or grease. I can't do that. If I try to do a cream wash and go, it's not gonna be a wash and go, it's gonna be a wash and no. These are all stepping stones, and we have to stop being lazy and finding shortcuts where people tell us what the problems are when we are the ones that really need to dig deep and do the evaluation on our hair and our practices and what we're doing. Some other questions to think about when you're using products. How does your hair feel wet versus dry? how long does it actually take for your hair to dry with no product? And I know a lot of type 4C or type 4 girls will say that's a no-no to let your hair dry without product in it, but I've done it one time before and this actually helped me understand, okay, it takes my hair forever to dry without product. So now I know I have low porosity hair, or now I know that if I want to do a wash and go and air dry, I'm gonna be waiting at least 2 or 3 days before it's actually set. So I know that I need a hooded dryer. There's no way I'm going to air dry set my wash and go. Also, what happens to your hair when you stretch it? Stretch it with the blow dryer, stretch it with plaits, stretch it with banding, stretch it with African threading. Note, when does your hair feel most moisturized? What product combinations? You know, it's because of the experimenting. I found out that the honey leave-in from Camille Rose and the grease combination together lets my hair stay moisturized for at least up to 2 weeks. Did a deep conditioner make your hair feel smooth, or did your hair feel like nothing was on it afterwards? All this information, now you start to create what is a hair manual for your hair. It's no more guessing, no more following advice that don't work for you. There are a lot of women now I watch where they're just like, oh, I tried this method and it worked out for me. And I can comment confidently and say no. In my personal opinion, the first 2 years of going natural is not about length retention as much as that is the reason a lot of us will go natural. The first 1 to 2 years is not about having and nailing a perfect twist out. I don't think so. They're about discovery. They're about falling in love with your hair as it is. Because when you do this, you're gonna find out that this lie you've been telling yourself that my natural hair is not manageable, natural hair is too hard to deal with, you'll find out that was a lie the whole time. Because ignorance is what makes things frustrating for us. When I don't know how to do something, it's a frustrating thing, and it's easy for me to default and say, oh, I don't wanna deal with it, it's too hard. Rather than learning, what is it that I need to understand in order for this to not be frustrating anymore? So your natural hair is not hard to deal with, trust me. It's the expectations that you set out of a place of ignorance and out of a place of comparison. But when you really start to get to know your hair and become your hair expert, your natural hair is gonna be a breeze to take care of. If you have hair on your head today, thank God for it, no matter what it is, how much trouble you think it's giving you, because there are a lot of women who would want to be in your position right now. So I want to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me, what do you love about your natural hair? And if you're struggling to come up with something, and if you're struggling, you're like, Charnel, I am not there yet, I want to leave you with this scripture. Psalms 139:14 says, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That's your first step towards transformation. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on the Coily Co today. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to hearing from you. And if this is your first time, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, put on your notifications so you're notified every time I upload. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. God bless. Bye.